I would like to get to know if you could be the kind of girl that you could be down for. 'Cause when I look at you, I feel so.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends so they can tell their friends so we can all be friends. And without wasting any time, honey, let's get into story time. It all started when obviously I was back at home and someone from cultural care gave me a call and I was like, Vitumelo, I need you to work on getting a family because wow, child, you need to leave this year and not next year. So now I was just cruising around, taking my time, because when I was back at home, I think my profile got online, I think about my February or March, right? And then I didn't get any requests. So like, I know when you're back at home, it's very slow, right? So like, I did not stress myself. Like, I was just like, yeah, I will get a family, I know. So Shapo, I think, like I said, I think February or March, so let's just say February for the story time's sake. February, I didn't get any requests. March, I didn't get any requests. April, I got, I think, 2 requests mid-month or so, and then May I got some requests, and then so the people that reached out between April and June, they needed someone ASAP. So I just couldn't connect with those families, because every time we'd connect, then I'd have to tell them, hey, I can only come after July, you know, because I need to wait for my 2-year mark to end so I can go for my visa interview. So like, they needed people ASAP, and it just didn't work out. Because I remember, I also got this other family. They lived in the heart of LA, and like literally I was closer to everything, child. So I was just like, oh my gosh. And the room looks so pretty, you know. They showed me their garden. I was like, oh my gosh. But I don't care about that now, because my host mom has a beautiful garden. I mean, you guys can see it already. She has a stunning garden. So anyway, I think sometime in July, that's when I met the family that I was matched with before I got here. So Shapo, I spoke to the family. They sounded very genuine. They sounded very straightforward. Like, it was as if we were agreeing on certain things, and they were like, you know, very honest, like, you know. So I remember them asking me, what were things that I did not like that, you know, families would do the first time I au paired. And I was like, you know, I really hated when I need to always remind people to pay me, because I don't forget to wake up and take care of your kid, like, you know. So I was very blunt and very straightforward, and like, next that's having next, and they were just like, yeah, you know, yeah, no, now we have, you know, it's automated, and like, you know, when it's time to pay you, it's just, you know, in the morning, it's just in. Well, they did not say in the morning, but they were just like, automated, it's just, you know. So I was just like, okay, well, that's great, good to hear. That's what they said. So they sounded very genuine. Like, we had a great conversation. I loved them, and you know, they had twins, and we spoke first week, second week, and then I think the third week we matched. So it took about 3 weeks before we knew. So Mara, in that moment also, I was also kind of matching, because I knew I don't have any time left, really. If I'm being very honest with you guys, but also I was just like, yeah, they've got potential, you know, they could possibly be a good family, and oh well, if this doesn't work out, I can always rematch. So okay, we matched, you know, did our thing. I had to go for training school, I had to go for my visa appointment, right? But in that moment, even with you guys, if you guys watched my faith vlogs, I did mention that I'm not too sure. I think I said it, or did I even cut it out? But I know I said it in one of my videos that I'm not too sure about these people, you know, like I'm not too sure, because I remember, I think around that time, maybe I had tried to text them and they just took forever to respond. And like, there was just, that communication was not there. You know how the agency is always encouraging people who are like, you know, reach out to your families, like, talk to them, like, you know, none of that. There was none of that. We weren't communicating. They would send me a text, I would answer after 2 days. That time I'm available. And like, you know what I mean? Like, guys, it was just a mess. I just knew it's not gonna work. Like, I just had that feeling. But I was like, you know what? Let me not think about it too much. Maybe they genuinely busy. Maybe they genuinely busy. Fine. Everything gets sorted out. Flights are booked. I get to America. First day I meet them, I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about these folks. Okay, so when they picked me up from the airport, they asked me if I'm hungry, blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry. They're like, okay, Shapo, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take you to this other spot, then you can eat, we can all eat, and then we're gonna drive back home. I was like, okay, cool. So we went to this other spot called, I think it's called Fish Hook. They sell burritos and tacos and, you know, like Mexican food ish, Mexican / American food, right? Shapo. Then I ate with them, and then we went back home. The kids were in daycare. So basically she said to me that basically on the Friday that I come, or that I get to America, that is going to be the last week that the boys are gonna be in daycare, and then the following week I'm just gonna pair and they're not gonna go to daycare. Cool. So mind you, also there's a lot of questions that I asked prior to leaving. So questions, and I need to mention this so that you guys get the context when I get to where I need to get to in the story time, right? So we did talk about time. We did talk about my schedule. I did ask what are the expectations, the time I was supposed to work, I think 8 hours. And then I was supposed to work 8 hours, and I wouldn't work on weekends. And what else? I asked them, is the schedule going to change? They were like, no, the schedule is not gonna change. But obviously I know a schedule is gonna change if maybe one of the kids gets sick, or like you know, because it might require a little bit of flexibility when such unexpected situations happen, basically. Mara, like, other than that, is the schedule gonna change? No, the schedule is not gonna change ever. The schedule remains the same. It is what it is. Sharp. We spoke about the car situation. They did express to me that they're not comfortable with me driving to San Francisco specifically, but I can drive to like nearby towns. And also they said to me, but over time they might revisit the car conversation, you know what I mean? Like, they would maybe eventually allow me to drive to San Francisco once they see that I'm comfortable driving, and that I can drive. And also, if maybe I want to go on a trip with, you know, my girls, we can, you know, take the car for like a day or two, whatever time I need the car, and then, you know, come back home. That's fine. That was one of the agreements. Cool. You know, they sent me the family's handy book, or whatever they call it, you know, with all the rules and expectations and blah blah blah. I read through that. I was happy with everything. I was like, you know, I'm happy with everything. So they also told me, you know what, we're gonna help you, so you're not gonna feel like you're alone when you do things, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh no, these are, you know, the best people I can get for myself, because why? It shows that they love their kids. So if they want to get involved, it's a good sign. Okay, those are some of the things that I can think of right now, top of my mind, but as we progress I'll explain. So Shapo, that was the plan. Monday comes. Monday is a holiday, by the way. That time, what holiday was it? I think it was Labor Day. And then they asked me to actually work so that they can show me how they do things, so that this week I can just, you know, do things smoothly. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. I worked, and then I literally worked for 10 hours, and I was just like, why am I still working an extra 2 hours? After that, we had dinner, right? We had dinner, and then they expressed to me that they're going to need me to work from 7:30 up until what time? 5. And I was like, well, that wasn't the agreement. So it marks basically 10 hours. But at that time, I didn't want to argue. So I was just like, you know what? I guess sometimes you gotta compromise. So it is what it is. That's fine. And then I worked. Mara, I think eventually sometime during the week I asked them, like, why did the times change, honestly? Because you guys said from this time to that time I'd be working. Like, why is it different now? And she was like, oh no, well, we actually never used that time with the last girl, you know. And she was like, actually we did. I think she just thought, what if she gets in contact and asks this girl the same question and then turns out I'm lying? So she was like, actually we did, but it was when the boys were really still so small and like there wasn't really any more work to be done or whatever. So right now we really need that time, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, is there something wrong? Like, are you okay with that time? I was like, oh no, I'm okay. I was just curious, like, why did it change? So yeah, the next day I work. And then they told me, when I woke up, that, oh no, we're going to take the kids to daycare because they still have a week. So I wanted to ask them, how? Didn't you guys say that the previous week was the last week? But again, I let it slide. I was like, okay. So they were like, you know what? You should take this time to like familiarize yourself with like the books that the boys like and like what they enjoy playing with, you know, their toys and whatever their meals, what do they eat, blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. I was like, no problem, that works. The dad took the boys to school. I could tell, man, this woman has a little bit of tension, you know. But I just didn't know, what is the tension about. I was like, okay, maybe she's just, you know, she's just not having a very good day because of work or whatever. Let me not think about this too much. So later she has a conversation with me when I just knocked off. She's like, oh yeah, we were thinking that we're gonna need more time, you know, so like how do you feel about, you know, changing the schedule a little bit? And like yeah, how do you feel about us changing the schedule? Basically, that's the question. I was like, what do you mean changing the schedule? And she's like, oh yeah, we were thinking, you know, you could give us like, you know, 2 to 3 hours, you know, with the boys, you know. And I was like, well, I can give you guys 30 minutes. Yeah, I think 30 minutes ideally is what I can give. And she was like, no, we need more than 30 minutes. Mind you, it's not 3 hours from my work time. I work a full 10 hour. So meaning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I work 10 hours. And then Friday, I work 5 hours to make up that 45 hours, right? So she's like, no, we need more time. Don't you want to bond with the boys? I was like, girl, no, I never said that, and please don't even think about it in that way. That's literally what I said to her. I was like, no, I did not say that, and please don't even think about it in that way, because it's not that I don't want to bond with the boys. It's just I'm jet lagged. I just arrived, my guy. I just arrived.
Yeah, but now we just arrived. Just relax. Please, man. That's it.
I knock off ka 5. By 6, I'm probably eating something. By 7, I'm in my bed. I'm knocked out. I'm tired because I'm so jet lagged, you know. I was even telling, I don't know if I told my brother or who was I talking to, and I told them, the first time I said I was jet lagged, when I was au pairing, I was lying, because this is the first time I'm actually experiencing what jet lag really is. I was really tired, guys. I would just sleep out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like, I was that jet lagged. Cool. So she was just like, no, we need more time. And I was like, okay, what I can do right now is I can think about it and then I'll get back to you. She was like, yeah, sure, that works. Okay. In my mind, I'm like, I'm not even going to think about this, child. No, what I did was the next day, where she thought I'm going to be bonding with her kids with my 3 hours, I was busy laughing, watching Moja Love, having the time of my life. Plus, there's this other show that I like now on Moja Love, ne? It's called Choose My Sketela. So I was busy with the episodes. I was here. I was having the time of my life catching up with all my favorite Moja Love shows, right? So I didn't have time for all of that. So busy watching all my shows. I love reality shows. The next day, girl was so mad. Girl was so mad. When I tell you she was mad, she was so mad. She was like, oh yeah, by the way, if you're gonna be able to hang out with the boys in Nkare, well, I told you the time I was having that conversation with you, I said I can only give you guys 30 minutes. You were being pushy about it and did not consider what I said. So like, I knew that I've made up my mind. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to do that. I've already told you that I can only give you guys 30 minutes. And you were very pushy about the fact that I need to do 3 hours. So, no. So you need to know how to be firm and stand your ground, guys. I'm giving you 101 lessons, okay? You must speak up for yourself, because if you don't speak up for yourself, child, who's going to speak up for you? I'm not here to suffer. Me too, I paid to come to America, okay? I paid. Okay. I don't care if this is your house or not. I don't care. I also paid to be here, honey. Okay? so I told her life again. I told you I can give you 30 minutes of my time. You're telling me I need 3 hours. No, it's not gonna work. So she was so mad. And then I kindly asked her, she must step out of the room, because I was like, you know what, with my experience being an au pair, it's really hard to connect with the kids when, you know, one of the parent is here, like, because they're obviously gonna want to gravitate towards you. So like, I was thinking, maybe can you give us time so that we were able to kind of create that bond and like hang out, because literally Mugele is taking her laptop from her office and comes and sits here with us. In that time, you could tell that she didn't want to go. She was just like, yeah, no, I'm just here because, you know, I'm trying to help you have that transition with the kid, blah 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 blah. And then so while we were having that whole conversation with like the schedule, I was like, you know what, I wish we had certain conversations to see if we're compatible, so both of us can make an idea. The same way I was open and honest with you guys about certain things, like, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and like I was very open with you guys. So I just wish we had that, you know, communication beforehand. And she was like, well, did you really think when you would find a family that's that perfect, that can communicate the way when Obatamba communicate? Yes, the family that I was working for in Atlanta, they knew how to communicate properly, and they were very straightforward. Okay, this is expectation, this is what we need. And like, so yes, I really think I would have found a family just to answer your question. Alright, cool. I felt like in math, and she's like, you know what, I need to go work. I can't really talk about this right now. We'll talk about it later. Did we talk about it later? We did not talk about it later. So anyway, fast forward, I think a day or two from that time, then we went on a walk. So the parents had this thing whereby they don't want me to be alone with the kids. It was as if they don't trust me. So like, when I'd offer to take them on a walk, they'd be like, no, one of us has to be there. That time they want my location to be on so they can see my location. And I'm just there like, I even told them, I was like, hey, I can have location when I'm with you kids, but when I'm alone and I've gone to God knows where, I'm gonna turn off the location. Because, and the dad was like, well, we don't really see it, so I don't think you should turn it off. And I was like, well, for that reason, that's why I'm turning it off, because you're not gonna see it, you know. So like, I'm gonna have to turn it off. And he was like, okay, sharp, you can turn it off when you're alone. Mara, and I kept on looking at their location. I ain't gonna lie. So like, when they left, I'd be like, where y'all at? But now when I leave, I turn the location off, baby. So yeah, that's what happened, right? Then this one time I was taking a walk with the dad, right, and the kids. Yo guys, it's so steepy. Like, I'll try and find a clip on Google Maps, ne, and show you guys. Guys, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm just a girl. Imagine having to push that primer, or maybe it's in America, or a stroller. Imagine having to push that stroller up the hill, up the hill, guys. And it takes about, I think, 3 laps before I get to my crib, or 4 laps of just going up the hill. So like, yo guys, I would just go 2 laps and then I'm enough, and then the dad would either have to help or the mom would have to help because it was so steepy. And like, guys, when I would think of just going to the store to get some snacks and I have to walk, child, those stairs, I would call on Jesus' name all the time. Oh, Jesus, help me, Lord, help me get through these days, because there's no way. I would even look at my life and say, Bitumelo, dog. You know when you understand yourself and you're just like, bruh, you can't. You cannot. There's no way. You can't. This is not for you. This one is not for you. Nah. This is not for you. This is not for you. So mind you, I don't mind taking kids on walks. My thing is, if it's that steep, you guys, but like, I must take your kids every day on a walk. Now you're being ridiculous. That's a lot. So they would even encourage me and tell me, oh yeah, no, with the last girl, it took her like a month to fully get into the groove of the whole, walking and getting used to like, the steepy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, kudos to the girl, because wow, the whole year, imagine a year of that steep. Guys, some people are corner, I think. So anyway, Shapo, we went on a walk, and then I started to have a conversation about the whole car thing, and I was like, okay, which car do I use? Which car is the au pair car? Because that street was so narrow, like the streets where we lived, Mill Valley, guys, it was so narrow. So like a lot of cars were parked like in our front, by our front yard. So like, I don't know if in that video that I get, you guys were able to see, or I can show you guys something. I don't know how am I gonna do it, but like, if I can't, then just know the streets were so narrow, and like another car could be coming, and then when you're coming, so you always need to be careful. You can find a place where you get to the side, or you have to reverse, or like the other car has to reverse. Like, guys, it was a mess. It was so weird. Like, and it was as if those houses are by a cliff, because if you drive wrong and you just might fall down. Like, guys, that area, a lot of people are rich in that area. You have houses that are sold for like 8 million, and like, people are just living their lives. Mara, for all of that, for 8 million, nah, dog. You can keep your valley. You can keep your valley, honestly. And there's also a lot of trees. It helps to breathe. It smells amazing in the morning. But you just don't get too much sunlight because of the trees. Yeah, but anyway, I get to wake some panic explain about Mill Valley, but I hope you guys are getting the context. So anyway, we are on a walk. We start talking about the car situation. He tells me, oh, the car that you're gonna be using is the black SUV, which was a Porsche Cayenne, baby. So I'm looking at, I'm just like, what? I will be driving a Porsche? Come on with it. Jesus, these are my people. These ones. At that time, I thought. Hi, Bandla. So we were having a conversation, blah, blah, blah. This guy keeps on mentioning how they're going to get me a clipper card. So a clipper card allows you to take the bus, allows you to take the train, allows you to take what they call a ferry, which is like a boat that gets you from one place to another. So like, imagine leaving your house and then 2 hours later, you get to San Francisco. It doesn't make sense to me. No, thank you. I'm not trying to take 2 hours to get to San Francisco and 2 hours to get home. That time they can even take a good, I don't know, a good 45 minutes or even less, 45 to 30 minutes to get to a certain part of San Francisco. Mara, obviously certain parts are further, so it might take like an hour drive. So imagine now where I get, bruh, 2 hours or more. That's a lot. So I was just like, nah, this is not gonna work for me. So he kept on emphasizing the whole clipper card. We'll put in money. Clipper card. I asked them, okay, how do I purchase a clipper card? Oh no, you don't have to worry about that. We have a clipper card for you. We'll just put in money. I'm like, okay, what if the money, it ends and I have to refill? How do I refill? Oh no, you just call us and then, we'll just add more money. My chat is, what if that all of that is happening at like 11 p.m.? I'm assuming you're already asleep at that time. I can't just call you on some, hey, I've maxed out my clipper card. Can you just send me money? Number one, you're gonna send it. Number two, you're gonna be so upset that I'm calling you at that time of the night, asking you to refill the clipper card. So, guys, no. I tell them, no, I want to drive this year. Oh no, the streets are so narrow. We don't think we're comfortable with you driving. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no. So I'm asking him, okay, you guys once mentioned that once I get comfortable, you guys will revisit the conversation and like, driving with my friends. While I'm saying that, he's like, oh no, we gotta change that on the profile. I'm like, no, it's not on the profile. You guys said it. He's like, oh yeah, no, I don't think you're gonna be comfortable with that. I was like, been there, done that. I know how these families roll. I'm done. I'm out. I had made that decision immediately. I was like, Gavaya, I'm leaving because I'm not gonna tolerate this. I've made a decision. I know very well that this year I want to drive, and that's on that. I told God I want a family with older kids. Now I got small kids, but I was like, I want a family with older kids, a family that's gonna allow me to drive, a family that's gonna give me more money. I told God, and that's what I got now. I'm so happy. I don't care what you say. Jesus Gesta, guys. Fast forward, we're having a conversation with this family the other time. We're having a conversation, and the family is just on some, well, we're gonna be talking about the schedule, blah 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 blah, in the car, and we're having a meeting. I'm just like, okay, babes, no problemo. While we're having this conversation, I wanted to add on something. So now we were talking about the schedule. We're done with that. Well, I assumed we were done, or we can still talk about it, but I wanted to talk about a different thing. So I was talking about the whole car situation. I was like, hey, regarding the car situation, this is how I feel, blah, 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 blah. Then this lady rudely stopped me on some, oh no, we're not going to talk about the car right now. We're going to talk about the schedule, and then we'll talk about the car situation, blah, blah, blah. She was so rude about it. I was like, then she continued to speak and speak. And she was, when I thought she was done, then she asked me, like, do you have any questions? I was like, no. Did you understand everything I said? Yeah. Do you have anything to add on? No. Okay. Do you want to say something? Yeah, whenever you're done, I can say something. Oh yeah, I'm done now. Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to talk about the car situation. So, like I was saying before you stopped me, with what I wanted to say, I wanted to say blah 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 about the car, and then we spoke about how, we had a conversation with the dad, and he said he was not too comfortable about the car and I was like, you know what, I wish certain things we had discussed when I was back at home to give me an opportunity. But with that being said, because I forgot to mention a very important part, she tried to scare me, when she was just when she said, we all need to think about what is it that we want. If I'm not comfortable with the schedule, maybe they can look into finding someone, blah blah blah. So I used that against her. When we had a conversation, I was like to her, well, like you said, I love the idea that you had about finding someone. So I think we should all think about what is it that we want, because I really want to drive also, but I also don't want to force you guys, because I can tell you guys are very uncomfortable with it. So like, Even if you say you're okay with it, I can tell you're not. It's very obvious. So like, I don't want to be wasting people's time. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want you to waste your time. So like, we should really decide on what is it that we want. And I love your idea, because I think, yeah, we should really look into what is it that we want. If it means it's a possible rematch, that's also fine. It happens. Literally, that's how I put it. It happens, you know, it happens. She's like, no, we're not talking about rematch. We're just saying maybe if you're not available on that day, maybe we can get someone that is gonna, you know, come and help us out, blah, 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 if you're not there. And I was like, no. Okay, I get that. But yeah, I think I also need to think, what is it that I want? And if it means a rematch, yeah, we just might get into a rematch. That's fine. Knowing very well, we're talking about this conversation. It's a Friday. Monday, the LCC is coming to welcome me. So the LCC came in Monday, and I could tell her she was leaning a lot to her best friend, which was the then former host family. So she was very close with like the host mom, and like, yo, bestie. So I could tell that, you know what, if ever I occur or come across any other, you know, problem or situation that I need to be addressed, I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna be heard. So it's not gonna work. So I could tell even when she was talking to me, giving me advice, that it was coming from a place of, I've been told that Bitumelo does X, Y, and Z, because the host mom kept on saying, you know, when someone is speaking to you and giving you advice and someone keeps on saying, to make you feel, yeah, yes, I agree. I strongly agree. So she was giving all of those, you know, but whenever I'd speak now, she's quiet. Ibile should even walk out of the room at some point, because she's not trying to hear what I have to say. So I was just like, this is pointless. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna entertain this. I'm done. So whenever, after the LCC said everything that she said, and she was like, okay, how do you feel, blah blah blah, whatever, and I was like, okay, no, on Friday I asked them, you know, we should all think about what is it that we want, and I think I want a rematch. I want to get into rematch, you know, because honestly, I've been thinking about what is it that I want for me, and like, yeah, I've come to a conclusion that I want a rematch. And she was like to me, well, maybe you should also think about what is it that you truly want, you know, is this program even for you? No, she did not say that. I looked at her and I said, well, please don't even ask me that question, because I've been an au pair for 2 years, successfully completed, went back home for 2 years, and recently came back. So I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I was frustrated, so I was just like, out. Never those ones. I was like, it's gonna get delayed because they are upgrading the app, and I mean, they're creating an app and upgrading the website. So like, there might be a clash on finding a family because of that. But yeah, I will let Cultural Care know that you want to get into rematch. Cool, she did that. Next day, Monday, I got an email from Cultural Care saying, well, Tuesday, I got an email from Cultural Care saying, you know, you want a rematch, we're sorry this didn't work out, blah 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 blah. So my chat was, when I was looking at this whole situation, I was just like, if this can all happen within a week and a few days, what about 6 months? What about a year? This is not gonna work out. So rather let me leave now while I can see this is not gonna work out, than trying to stay and it does not work out. So anyway, what happened was, I think Wednesday I got a call from one of the matching specialists or whatever, and she was telling me, oh yeah, you're gonna get into rematch, blah blah blah, but I'm also gonna go on holiday in the next day or whatever, so I'll come back on such and such a day, but there's gonna be another lady helping you out, blah blah blah, feel free to text me in sharp. Got in the matching pool, got some connections, blah 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 blah. So now Friday, everything got shut down, so we couldn't communicate. I communicated with the ones that we exchanged, you know, emails or whatever. We got into they were upgrading it, and then Monday it would be back on. So Monday comes and it gets back on, but it's not working. Tuesday, that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So now I'm getting so frustrated. I'm calling the Boston offices. No one hasn't called me. They're not even like telling people, sending emails. Oh, guys, we have this problem. It's an issue. Now I can't remember on which day the Holy Spirit said to me, "Witumela, post yourself on these Facebook groups." I said to the Holy Spirit, "Yo, Holy Spirit, kinani YouTube channel? Konano." This is me. YouTube channel. Now people are gonna see my indabas. You know, I have people that are actively just watching. You know, and like I know people are gonna know my indabas. Now I'm in rematch without a month. Bitumela's already in rematch. Kanjad, like Holy Spirit, how? Literally, the Holy Spirit said to me, "Would you rather have a family or would you rather go home?" Which one, my babes? Which one is it gonna be? Are we going home or you gonna find yourself a family? I was like, hey, Holy Spirit, it is what it is. Let me post. I posted. I got some people, you know, reaching out. Families reaching out. Families are frustrated. They're writing on those groups for like cultural kids. The worst. You know, all of those stuff. Guys, we're not getting any help. We can't find au pairs can't find us. Blah 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 blah. Then long story short, my current host mom reaches out, and I was like, hey, blah blah blah. When we got on FaceTime, like, guys, we were chatting as if we knew each other. Like we just had instant communicate, like instant love for each other, like instant connection, you know. Like it was just so instant. Like, and then we spoke, and then the other time I got to meet the kids, and I remember she wanted, you know, to make sure that call is gonna be so fun, whereby the kids are like behaving well, and I remember the call, and the kids had just argued, so it was like, you know, a lot of damage control going on, and like, you know, but I was just like, this does not deter me. I'm still happy, blah blah blah. It happens, and you know, I got to see the real side, and like Lena, she said the same thing, and then we had to match. So like I remember my LCC took me out of the au pair group 3 days of me being in rematch, and she told people on that group, no, wait, I'll tell you guys, this is not how the story goes. I almost said a part that I shouldn't have said, that I didn't have to say yet, right? So anyway, she took me out of the group, right? So anyway, now I'm communicating with this mama, and like Shapo, I was communicating with other people, but they were just, I could tell they were not a match, but this mama was a match for me. So anyway, we're taking time, we're communicating. Lena, she had a very big project going on, and like she hardly had time, and like we were always just trying to make time for each other. Sharp. Okay, then what happened was, hey guys, if this is not good, then I don't know. Shapo, she took me out of the group. I'm feeling very bad about it. Like, I'm feeling very sad and disappointed in her. She hasn't even checked up on me, nothing. Then I started having this feeling, I think my LCC really wants me to go home. She's really hoping that I get to go home. Because obviously her friend now doesn't have an au pair now. I said I want to leave, you know. So I have a feeling. So this one time I'm on a call with my parents. We're talking, and I'm telling them, I have this feeling that this LCC really wants me to go home. She hasn't checked up on me. She doesn't care. Literally, she took me out of the group 3 days after rematch, or 2 days even after rematch. Like, she does not care. Cool. My parents are just listening to me. Yeah, I think you have a point. You know, she just might want you to go home. Shapo, she sends me a text, and she's just like, how is it going? You know, like, how is it going? Blah, 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 you know. And I was just like, well, I mean, the app is down, so I don't have any families. That's by text. I'm just like, I'm not going to tell her, I've been posting with the Facebook group. I don't care. She hasn't been checking up on me, so I don't care. I'll just tell her, oh, the app is down, so there's nothing going on. Cool. Kanti, she calls me. Now, the problem is my host mom and the LCC, they have the same name. My current host mom and the LCC have the same name. But when she called me, in brackets, I put HM for host mom, and then in brackets, I put LCC for her. But now, when she called me, I thought that it was the other LCC that is in Colorado that has been trying to reach out to me. So I was like, I'm giving her the tea. Yeah, no, I've reached out on Facebook. Hey. So she's like to me, oh yeah, no, you're gonna have to go home. So when she said that, and then my man went, you're actually talking to the wrong person, and you gave this person all information you did not want to give. But I was like, well, I guess I said it because Mudimu wanted me to say it, because if God didn't want me to say it, then I wouldn't have said it. You know what I mean? Then I said to her, well, what about the whole time that cultural care owes me, because it's not like it's my fault that I'm not getting a family, but they are app. And last I checked, I was informed that my time is going to be given. So every day that I lose, I'm going to be given time for that. So now, she's just on some, oh yeah, and I mean, I guess you're also actively trying to look for a family. It's not like you're just sitting, you know. So yeah, they are gonna give you your time. That confirmed, oh yeah, this woman wants me to leave. So she said to me, so yeah, so if you're gonna have to leave, because she was like, where are you right now? As if she doesn't know. I was like, I'm at the host family's house, the previous host family's house. And she's like to me, so I mean, I can't house you, you know, when you know you need a place to stay after 2 weeks. I can't house you. So, and I was like, well, I don't care, like either you or cultural care would have to get me somewhere, whether a hotel or some, I don't care, but I need to be housed. I need to be housed somewhere. And she's like, oh yeah, I think we're gonna take you then to another LCC that is able to house you, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't care, as long as I'm housed, that's fine. So then she was just like, okay, so when do you think you're gonna leave? I was like, I don't know, as soon as I get a family, you know, sharp with the call ends. That's when I send my current host mom a text, hey girl, now I want to match with you, I'm happy with you, blah blah blah. And she's like, I feel the same way with you, so yeah, definitely we can match. Let's work towards matching. In cultural care can figure this out, blah blah blah. You can even come anytime, because I told her my story. She's like, yeah, you can come. And then after time she changed, because she had a lot going on, and she's like, yo, to me, I can't even come fetch you or whatever. I've got like a lot going on. So like also cultural care wants us to match first, and then you can come and have that whole transition going on. I was like, okay, cool, I understand. So yeah, cultural care then, you know, worked, guys. We worked hard all together, calling each other, you know. Even the lady that was assisting me, she was so kind. We spoke like she would even call me for like 20 minutes telling me about another au pair story, and not telling me what she actually had to come tell me about. Like, we had that connection where she would just tell me stories. Oh, yo, this other au pair did this and did that. I'm telling this other girl, Oling, in the same area, I'm telling her, oh, sorry, I haven't met up with you because, you know, a lot has been going on. I'm in Rematch, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, the LCC did mention, there is a South African girl that is actually going home. So basically, she took me out of the group and then wrote, there's a South African girl that's going home. How, child? Where, child? Now there was no way I was going home. But I have friends in America, okay? I have friends that I could have flown to. I did not have money, but I told them, well, guys, with the little that I have, I can catch a flight and come to your crib. Okay, so I still had friends I could have made my own plans that are in the East Coast. So there was no way I was gonna go back home, because imagine having to spend all of this money and then I get sent back home. Kachani, how? Make it make sense. There's no way. None of that, child. So this mama also sends me a text like, when are you leaving, blah blah blah. She's always harassing me, you know what I mean? And I said to her, well, I'm gonna leave whenever it's time for me to leave, because I told this family, you know. So after all of that happened, I sent the family a text, hey, can I meet up with you today? There's something I want to talk to you about. And they're like, okay, no, just after the boys take a nap, then we can talk. Sharp, the boys took a nap, and then I had our conversation, and I told them, hey, there's a family, you know, that I'm matched with. So like I'll be moving sometime next week. I just don't know when exactly, but like I'll let you guys know. They're like, oh, okay. My host mom was just like this the whole time, but you could tell, yeah, mood like with this girl actually got a family. Kanjani, you know. So I could see like God was in control. God was fighting off battles that were unseen. Like I did not know how these people have a lot of hatred and they actually want me to go home, you know, that bad. But God in Jay was just there fighting for me, his kid. So what had happened was, you know, the dad, yeah, he kept on saying, oh nice, okay, where are they? Oakland. Like, oh, okay, nice. Yeah, no, we're happy for you, blah 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 blah. But the host mom just was just the whole time. And then she just said, oh yeah, when the boys wake up, we're just gonna go out, you know, with the boys. That's all she said. And she was like, okay, thank you, bye. Like, that's it. That's it. After she said what she said, we were done. The conversation was over and everybody could do their own thing. So after that conversation, I had a prayer. Oh Lord, I pray this doesn't get jeopardized, because I just told him like, go protect this mama, make her not to decide otherwise, because literally I am dependent on her at this point, you know. So not really dependent on her, but do you get what I mean? Right? Not really dependent on her, but you get what I mean, right? So yeah, and then Shabo, this mama was like to me, I can come on a Wednesday. And then when Wednesday came, she was like, no, not today, to me tomorrow. And I was like, well, I'm gonna tell these people that I'm leaving tomorrow, so I hope you mean that, because I can't change again. They are gonna definitely want me out of their house by Thursday. So sharp, I told these people, for Thursday I'm leaving. That time my LCC keeps on asking me, like, when are you leaving? And I was like, well, I'll tell them when I leave. I told them that I'm gonna tell them when am I leaving. So yeah, I'll tell them. So yeah, Thursday came. So cultural care worked day in, day out. I remember there was even a hurricane in Florida. The person that was helping me was in Florida at that time, and she was just like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna lose connection, but like I'm staying up, because we have like a 3-hour difference. And she was just like, I'm staying up to make sure that this match happens tonight. So the person that was helping my host mom is also working, and like everybody's just working. The IT team is just working to make sure that we match, and then everybody can go to sleep. So like it was so intense, you know, trying to figure out like, okay, can she see her now? Can she see her now? Can they match now? Can they confirm? Can they? And then we matched. And then the next day, Thursday, I moved here. So that's when you guys saw in the previous video where I was like, oh my gosh, I got a family. That was the Thursday. That I arrived. And it's been so pleasant. I love how my host mom now is so thoughtful, very loving, very kind, you know, very sweet. Like I can say all the nice things about her, and that's just the person that she is. She cares for other people. She knows how to, you know, how to be very down to earth, you know, and like she's a big deal. Like if you happen to see this host mom, you're a big deal, you know. She's a big deal, and like, you know, people love her work, and like she's getting really interview, and like I don't want to talk about her work and what she does, but like big deal, you know. And like she's just, the other time she humbled me and she's just like, Melo, I just want to be a normal mom. Like all of this that's happening to me, I'm not liking it. It's giving me so much anxiety. Like, hey guys, no, I'm not liking it. But she's just so sweet and so humble, and you know, the kids, Lebone, we are working together, we're getting somewhere, and I love them so much. I appreciate them, even though we don't see things eye to eye sometimes, but they're kids, okay. And yeah, man, I'm just trying to be the best au pair that they can have also, and like I'm trying to meet them where they are at, and like I'm learning them, and like my host mom is also making it so easy because she understands her kids, and she gives me advice on how to tackle certain things, and like it's just amazing. So I'm happy, and I'm driving. San Francisco everywhere, babes, everywhere. So guys, yeah, never doubt God and what He can do for you, because in Jay, whatever you ask in His name and you believe, He'll do it for you. So I'm so grateful that I also took those fasts that I talked about in the previous video. So I know earlier I said something was in the previous video, so that other video before the previous video, but I'm talking about the previous video now. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway. So yeah, in the previous video I did talk about fasting and how it was beneficial to me. So like, I just thank God, because even when I was in Rematch, I was able to fast, because fasting helps me get more closer to God and it helps me have more clarity. So I did get into a fasting many days, but a couple of days, maybe 2 or whatever. I did get into some sort of fasting, not too hectic, certain hours. So it wasn't like the whole day, but like just taking that time and saying, God, acknowledge, and God, I need you, and like that was very helpful. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story time, because in Jay, I told myself this year, I'm gonna be a big girl, I'm gonna just make my decisions. I want to, because at the end of the day, this cultural experience is about you and the other people. It's not just about them. Just because you're in their house doesn't mean now I need to be some slave. We both need to agree. So that's what it's about, and also meeting people where they are at, and like being kind and being gentle, and like, yeah, that's what it's about. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my story time, because I enjoyed telling you guys. I hope I didn't forget anything out, please. I just really hope. Mara, anyway, before I go, I just want to say that never forget, appreciate your life, show gratitude at all times. God loves you and I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys.